Welcome, Hastings residents, to today's Explainer. We've got a fantastic rundown for you today, Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. Thanks to our friends over at hastingsnow.com, we're going to break down the essential daily weather you need to plan your Wednesday, and then we'll dive into a really fascinating look at what happened around the world on this exact day in history. It's going to be gorgeous, factual, and hopefully exactly what you need to step out the door fully prepared and maybe even a little inspired.
Right off the bat, we've got to talk about this local weather joke from Hastings now. The Mississippi River called dibs on the fog machine this morning, but afternoon thunder may try to steal the show. I mean, it perfectly captures the mood, doesn't it? If you were up and out early, you already know we had this incredibly soft-focused start to the day. That misty, heavy atmosphere was just gorgeous down near the river, the bridge, and rolling right through downtown. It gives our town that classic, quiet June morning vibe before the energy of the day really picks up.
So let's look at this contrast, because today is literally a tale of two very different halves. We started out with that patchy fog, which definitely requires giving yourself a little extra stopping distance if you're commuting through those low spots or river-adjacent routes. But by the afternoon, we trade the mist for a really fantastic, partly sunny sky. We're looking at a super comfortable high of 77 degrees today. Just absolutely perfect June weather. Though, as that joke mentioned, there is a small chance of storms we need to keep on our radar.
And here is the magic number you're going to want to keep in mind for your afternoon plans. 30%. That's our chance of precipitation for the day. We're talking mainly about scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm popping up in a pretty narrow window, mostly hitting between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. today. But the good news, once we get past that mid-afternoon stretch, the evening turns partly cloudy, and that rain chance plummets all the way down to just 10% tonight before 7 p.m.
Now, what's really driving these changes is how the wind shifts throughout the day. We started early with light and variable winds, and that's exactly what allowed that thick river fog to settle in so heavily. But as the morning rolls on, you'll notice a shift. We get this west-northwest flow picking up to between 10 and 15 miles per hour. That breeze is what's going to clear out the fog and bring in our sunshine. Then later tonight, as we cool down to a really nice low of about 55 degrees, those winds will calm right back down to a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze before becoming light again.
Okay, so what does this actually mean for your day? Here's your quick action plan. You'll want a light layer early on for that morning dampness, but you're definitely going to be totally fine in short sleeves by midday when we hit 77. Throw a small umbrella or a rain jacket in the car just in case for that early afternoon storm potential. For our morning walkers, please watch your visibility out there until the fog entirely clears. And finally, if you're planning to soak up some sun at Levee Park or grab a spot on a patio, your best bet is to schedule that outside of our 1 to 3 p.m. window.
All right. Now that we know what to expect in our own backyards today, let's move to and see how this builds our on-this-date historical time capsule. It's always so fascinating to see what else was happening in the world on a typical June 24th. Today, our timeline spans over a century, touching on some incredible architectural firsts right here in Minnesota back in 1869, shifting to some intense global geopolitics in 1948, and wrapping up with a triumphant return from space in 1983.
Starting off with 1869. A Minnesota milestone.
On this exact date, back in 1869, the Cathedral of Our Merciful Savior over in Faribault was officially completed and consecrated. Now, what makes this so historically significant is that, according to their own records, it was the very first Episcopal church in the entire United States intentionally built as a cathedral right from the ground up. It's a gorgeous piece of history, and it's kind of wild to think about that level of dedication and craftsmanship happening right here in our state over 150 years ago today.
Next up, historic flights from 1948 and 1983.
We step back to June 24th, 1948, which was a day of massive international tension. This is when Soviet forces blockaded literally all rail, road, and water access to Allied-controlled West Berlin. They essentially choked off this massive city from the ground entirely, abruptly halting the flow of food, fuel, and vital supplies. It was an absolutely severe start to an international crisis that deeply tested the post-World War II order.
So in response to that sudden, suffocating blockade, the US and the UK had to act fast, and their solution was entirely airborne. This brings us to the Berlin Airlift. It was this massive, incredibly organized flight operation designed to deliver essential food and fuel by air to the blockaded city. Because the roads and railways were completely blocked off, on this day in 1948, the sky literally became the only lifeline for the people of West Berlin. It's just a stunning, historic example of logistics and aviation saving an entire city.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast. In 1948, we saw the sky used to deliver ground supplies. But fast forward to June 24, 1983, and the sky was the pathway home from the stars. NASA's STS-7 shuttle mission successfully landed back on Earth, returning astronaut Sally Ride. And of course, with this landing, she completed her historic journey as the very first American woman in space.
And you know, the precision of space travel is always just breathtaking. The STS-7 mission didn't just land today. It concluded a groundbreaking flight that lasted exactly 6 days, 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 59 seconds. Every single one of those seconds represented a monumental leap forward in science and human history, all culminated in a safe, successful return right on June 24th.
All right, bringing it all back down to earth and right back home to Hastings, I want to leave you with a couple of quick reminders. As we all know, Dakota County weather can change incredibly quickly. So, while we are expecting that gorgeous 77-degree, partly sunny afternoon, always make sure to check official National Weather Service alerts before you travel or lock in those outdoor plans. Also, if you found today's explainer helpful, go ahead and share it with a neighbor so they can plan their day too. And definitely make sure you're subscribed to Hastings Now to keep getting these fantastic updates.
From that misty morning fog rolling off the Mississippi, all the way to the historic heights of the cathedral in Faribault, the massive effort of the Berlin Airlift, and Sally Ride's groundbreaking orbit, June 24th has proven to be quite a remarkable day. So I'll leave you with this final thought as you head out the door. Under these partly sunny Hastings skies, what history will you make today? Have a wonderful Wednesday, everyone.